Who's scruffy looking?
What is up, my fellow nerds and gangsters? Welcome back to the Spiffy Nerd Hooter channel. I am Danny.
So what?
Movie sequels, they're a dime a dozen. And we're probably gonna keep getting a lot more of them because we keep going to see them.
It's not my fault.
Because in general, sequels can be really fun and entertaining. But unfortunately, they also don't live up to the standards, hype, or magic of the originals. Why is that? And can it be avoided?
No.
Now today, we're gonna look at two sequels directed by James Cameron. The man who brought you Terminator 1 and 2.
I'll be back.
Avatar, Titanic, Aliens, and with Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming, some people are a little concerned that they are not gonna live up to the original film.
It's like a big budget movie with a story that goes nowhere.
But I'm here to say that nobody does sequels like Jim Cameron, and he has proved it. Twice. So today, let's look at those sequels that Jim has directed, along with a few others, to see if we can crack the code of how to make sequels not stink. Let's first look at Terminator and its sequel, Terminator 2.
I've been looking forward to this.
Terminator 1 is the story of Sarah Connor trying to survive her assassination by a Terminator who's come from the future to kill her because she will be the mother of John Connor, a human who in the future will defeat the machines that have taken over the world. This film is all about her journey from skeptic to believer and finding the inner strength she needs to raise John into the man he'll need to be. She's the ultimate female action hero with a strong arc. So what happens in Terminator 2 to make it so good? Well, absolutely nothing you'd expect to happen at the end of Terminator 1.
I don't understand it.
Sarah's in a mental institution because all of her machines are going to take over the world nonsense. And John? Yeah, he thinks she's nuts too.
She's a complete psycho.
He doesn't like her, he's a punk teenager, and is going nowhere in life. Jim Cameron is sure to let you know that he's smart though, although he doesn't use those smarts for anything worthwhile. So throughout this sequel, Sarah and John team up, but it's not Sarah's story anymore. Now, the main character arc belongs to John, as he starts his journey into becoming the hero. Not only that, but the new Terminator has his own arc as well. He learns to feel, have compassion, even a little bit of humor.
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Essentially, he tries to become more human. A far cry from what we saw with the Terminator in Terminator 1. So we get two completely new character arcs in Terminator 2 while not abandoning the original character that we saw in Terminator 1. Terminator 2 is arguably the best film of the entire Terminator franchise because it keeps the story moving forward and its characters moving forward. The later films, not directed by Jim Cameron, don't achieve this feat and are thus kinda lackluster. Alright, now let's look at another sequel that Jim Cameron did, Aliens, which is the sequel to Alien. Imagine that. In this instance, Cameron only wrote and directed this sequel while Ridley Scott did the first. But Aliens is again arguably the better of the two films. So what made it great? Like Terminator 2, we got more of everything. Instead of one alien, there are many aliens. Instead of just Ripley fighting, we got a squad of commandos. Everything is more intense in this film. So is that what made it great? Well, no. Again, the character arc in the sequel is different from the first film. And in this case, it's not a new character, but it's Ripley's new arc. In the first film, Ripley's want and need as a character is simply to find her inner strength to survive, which she does in incredible fashion. In the second film though, her want and need as a character is to nurture and protect a little orphan girl named Newt. Cameron sets this up beautifully at the beginning of the film by being with Ripley when she awakes from a decades-long cryosleep and she finds out that she's been frozen for so long that she's outlived her daughter and that her daughter is already dead. The motherly pain is so real for Ripley that when she discovers the little girl Newt on the destroyed colony, her motherly instincts kick in, and she basically becomes the girl's mother throughout the film. She even fights the alien queen mother for Newt's life in the film. It's the battle of the moms to epic proportions without the minivans. So, Aliens gives us a new arc for Ripley that we did not get in the second film. Thus, it moves the story and the characters forward. Are you seeing the pattern?
I don't get it.
Let's take a look at three more examples of sequels that did just this. Let's start with Toy Story. The main character in these films is Woody, as we follow his relationship with his owners and how that affects his relationships with the other toys. And what makes Woody in the Toy Story films is that he has a different arc in every single film. He is always changing as a character. In Toy Story 1, Woody has to learn how to share Andy with Buzz, and in the process, Woody gains a best friend. In Toy Story 2, Woody must learn how to put Andy first before himself by deciding to stay with Andy rather than go be at the center of everyone's attention in a museum. Additionally, this sequel has the character arc of Jessie, as she learns to love a child again after she was abandoned by her kid years earlier. In Toy Story 3, which I love beyond reason, Woody has another arc. In this film, Woody must learn how to let Andy go. So Woody has to learn how to share Andy, then put Andy first, and then give up Andy.
The thing that makes Woody special is he'll never give up on you.
These three films do an amazing job of pulling us in so many different directions with Woody's character arcs. Now, Toy Story 4, I felt departed from this a little bit with a relatively selfish arc by deciding to go off by himself. But I suppose you can say that he sacrificed himself to help Gabby live the life of a toy that he had lived but she had never knew. I won't go into Toy Story 4 too much, but it's clear that each film has a different arc for Woody as they are compounded by arcs from other characters. Two other great examples of sequels that had great character arcs are The Godfather 2 and The Dark Knight. In Godfather 2, the arc belongs with Vito Corleone, as it contrasts with his son Michael, who is the focus of the first film. So Michael has the arc of the first film, Vito has the arc of the second film. So we get a different character's arc while still maintaining the identity of the first film. Now, Dark Knight is slightly different in this whole character arc formula, in that the Joker, a new character, causes everyone around him to have their own arcs that are different from the first film. He influences Bruce, Rachel, and Harvey, particularly Bruce, since the Joker pushes Batman to his absolute limits of morality, both with and without the masks, so he changes as a result.
You have all these rules and you think they'll save you.
The idea of having one character not change, but having immense influence on all the characters around him is perhaps no better shown than in Back to the Future, where Marty McFly really doesn't change throughout the story, but he changes everybody around him. Character arcs are what make movies great, and sequels are no exception. In fact, character arcs should be even more important in a sequel, to drive the story and its characters forward. Unfortunately, this is often the first thing to go in a sequel because a writer may not know where to take it, or because any arc is already completed after the first film. So a sequel that depends just on more explosions and aliens suffers as a result. Now, what does this mean for the Avatar sequels? Well, in short, guys, I think we're gonna be just fine. Jim Cameron has the best track record, in my opinion, of any director of all time in doing sequels. He's 2 for 2. Most people are 0 for 1. I think we can look forward to Jake Sully probably having some sort of arc. I think that Grace, Sigourney Weaver's character, will probably make a return, and maybe she will be the focus of the second film. There will probably be new characters that will introduce their own arcs to the film. Beyond that, though, I really have no idea. But I can with confidence say that because what I've seen from Jim's other films, that there will be a new character with a new arc that will keep the characters that we already know and love moving forward, along with the story moving forward. What are your favorite sequels? Have you noticed something else in the formula that makes a sequel great? Let me know in the comments below, along with perhaps another topic you would like to see in a video. And like the video for a chance to win a Vader Stars of the Past poster signed by this dude right here in a suit. Thanks again, and remember to stay spiffy, and don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.
Hasta la vista, baby.